What up, YouTube? Welcome to the special episode of KM Video Live Streams. I'm gonna give y'all a couple crack stories. Shout out to the Mac Heads and Maniacs. I'm gonna take you back to like 1990-ish, right? There was this family that lived up in Windsor Hills. This big Rick, his sister Gypsy, and his little brother Cedric. Cedric used to work good jobs, good solid dude in the community. Gypsy, she used to sell herself. Gypsy was always out there making money. Rick, I don't know where Rick Hustle came from, but Rick always had a Chicago bankroll in his pocket. Rick was like 6'2", about 290 pounds. He was fat, but he was kind of solid where it counted. And I remember he used to have this big old like Rottweiler head and an afro. And Rick used to call himself like the OG in the neighborhood. So Rick always kind of stood out more than most. And by them living in Windsor Hills, you would think they were some good kids, some turned out to be some good adults. But these were like hillbillies. They was outlaws. Like they didn't roam in just Windsor Hills. They came down the hill. So they hit the blocks. They hit the tough blocks, the dope blocks, the gangbang blocks and all that type stuff, right? And so I had got to know Rick as having his money and smoking crack. And so Rick started falling down on his luck or whatever, or maybe he got paid once a month, whatever it was. Rick didn't have no money and Rick needed a little help. I didn't have no problem helping Rick. Like, what you need, Rick? It go 40. I'll give him $40. Rick come back like, hey, I need some more help. I give Rick another $40, so you got an $80 tab with me. And I want some interest too, especially because you got a fat bankroll and you come up out of Windsor Hills. So Rick, you owe me $80 and I want $40 interest. All of a sudden, I'm not seeing Rick no more. I don't see Rick walking around in the hood, driving around in the hood, in nobody's passenger seat, in nobody's back seat. I'm not even hearing Rick's name no more. So I started asking around, like, where's Rick at? They're like, oh, Rick up the hill? Yeah, I go up the hill. I don't find Rick. I go scope out the house. I can't catch Rick. So at this point, Rick is MIA. I should have known it was a blue flag when he didn't have no money because Rick always had money. But I was always the one, I'm going to loan you some money. I'm going to make sure you can smoke you some dope. You just make sure you pay me back with interest. Right? I was like the neighborhood loan shark for the crackheads. So now, during this 1990 era, like a lot of dudes went back to prison in 89, and some dudes got out, a lot of dudes got out. The hustle game is cracking, man. Crack is still going strong. Like 6-7 years into the game, crack game is still going strong. It's all a matter of who picked the crack up and who got a spot to sell it. And so the homies got this spot a couple blocks from me, and it's booming, man. It's off the hook. Even the sheriff know about this spot. I'll get into some of them stories at another time, but the sheriff know the spot is booming. And you got 30s and you got 60s over there. And, you got a couple dudes, 5'5" over there. And so it's booming and it's cracking. And then you got customers coming from all over because the more dudes is over there with a sack, the more clientele that's going to come through. Because you bringing people from over here, from Schoolyard Hood, people from Harvard Park, you bringing people from the 50s, you bringing people from Windsor Hills, Darien Heights, Baldwin Hills. So you got people coming from everywhere over to the spot. And it was booming. Everybody, back then, like, we wasn't smart enough to go get a house or go buy a property. So we would buy a car, put expensive rims on it, expensive sounds, keep it detailed, get your car cleaned up, spending money on motels and hotels with a broad you're not even going to spend your life with. I mean, we did some crazy things with our money, but them was good times and it was booming. And when the dope dealers are feeling good and looking good, or the gambling is big, and a lot of money on the ground, smokers tend to vibe off that too. So now the homies got a spot like 2 blocks east of me. They got a cracking ass crack spot. So I go over there and I'm chilling over there. I'm being a little nosy because I want to see who all coming over here, who all might need a loan, and how cracking is this spot. But them the homies too though, and we shoot dice over there sometime. So I'm gonna go over there just to shoot the shit, be nosy, and maybe stumble up on a crap game, right? So I go over there and I go into the backyard. They had this little small backyard over there with a apartment in the back, and it was kind of a safe zone, sort of. You know what I'm saying? As long as no police or jackets come through the alley and look over the fence, you was pretty safe. And so it was a safe environment in the backyard. And now I walk back there, and who do I see? I see Big Rick. I see this big old dude with this big afro, Big Rick. And Rick kind of had a walk like Fred Sanford on Sanford and Son, like Red Fox. So I'm like, Rick, what's up? He's like, oh, Mac, what's up? I said, man, you got my money? And now I see he just bought a Dub Rock with a $20 bill as I walked in. I'm like, Rick, you got my money? He said, oh, no, I'm gonna have your money. I'm gonna have your money, man. I'm gonna pay you. I said, all right, Rick. I want my money next time I see you, and I want the interest too. He said, how much interest? I said, $40. You owe me $120, Rick. I'm really only interested in the $80 though, right? So Rick go on about his business. I go on about my business. Rick don't ever come to see me. Ain't nobody telling me that Rick's looking for me or Rick got something for me. So now I'm like, all right, man, Rick done messed up. Lo and behold, you know, it's something I learned in life. Anytime, like you see a woman on a bus stop or you see a gangbanger on the bus stop, it's like 3 p.m. on a Wednesday. It's usually a pattern behind that. You're going to see that same person that next Wednesday at the same time, if not 5 times a week. So I go over there the following week on that Friday. You know, I'm not really looking for Rick. This is usually when we drink, maybe smoke some weed, maybe play with some females, shoot dice. You know, we talk about what we're going to do Friday night, Saturday night, you know, stuff like that. What girl you might be taking out, going to the motel. A lot of homies used to go spend Friday night or Saturday night in a motel hotel. So this is like our pre-party, like a pre-fight party. So I go over there, and it's a lot of traffic over there. And I'm in the front for about 3-4 minutes. None of the homies in the front, but all these smokers coming out the back. So I make my way to the back, and I see Big Rick back there. Rick, you got my money? No. Boom, I fire on Rick. And they had this brick wall. They had a cement brick wall, one of them old school ones with the red brick and the cement in between the bricks. And when I fire on Rick, I hit him in his jaw. Now I'm thinking, man, Rick might want to get off on me. And Rick probably more stronger than me. Rick probably can put his weight on me. I know I'm looking for some trouble. I'm barking up the wrong tree in a sense. I ain't got no pistol on me. I ain't got no knife on me. I ain't got nothing on me. I ain't got no screwdriver, no stick, no toothpick. I don't got nothing on me. I just got this lethal fist right here. So when I fire on Rick, I hit him cool in the jaw. And Rick fold. Boom! He hit the cement wall. Felt like an earthquake. Like you feel like the ground shaking. You definitely see and feel the wall shaking. A couple of bricks fell out the wall. A crack went through the brick wall. And I'm like, yeah. So now I'm feeling strong. Now I'm feeling cool. I stand up over him. Punk, you better give me my money. And I kick him. Boom! I kick him in his ribs. Man, I got you. Rick never paid me my money. So as time goes by, it's this another Rick that came to the hood. Rick came from Arkansas. I guess he lived in Inglewood for a minute or had some ties to the bottoms in Inglewood for a moment or what have you. Something to that effect. And Rick makes his way over to the 60s. Now he's over in the 60s and he makes his way up to the overhills. So Rick done bars in on a clientele up in the hills, and Rick really got a hold on a lot of these smokers. You know, Rick was like this cool guy, but he was like this enforcer. He was brutal. Like Rick would put hands and feet on a smoker in a minute. Like he didn't grow up knowing that these people. Like I didn't know Rick. I knew Rick's younger brother, you know, prior to, you know, about 1989, 90. So anyway, one day we out chilling, me, Baby Smack, Big Shawnee Mac, and down the street at the Brumleys house, you hear the Brumleys name in a few of these interviews. The Brumleys was like the OG homies, West Side Crips, wearing their blue rags, starch 501s, you know, the Croker Sacks, the whole nine. Cutes used to come over and visit them before I knew who a Cutes was. So these are big homies, but they all get high now. They all smokers now. One rest in peace, and the rest of them, they smokers. Not smokers in a bad way. They just get high. They still the homies. They still function. You know what I'm saying? They still cool and respected in the neighborhood. But when you have that smoker tag on you, a lot of people that don't know you not going to respect you. Rick meets them as smokers, so Rick has no respect for them. The homie Quinn Brumley, Quinn is in the pen. Quinn ain't even on deck. But I always try to hold down the street, the block, in their house, anybody's house I know when I know they're not around. And so to get to the point, we hear late at night. It's late at night, we're in the front yard. My mom ain't home too. My mom in the house. Big Rick, this is a different Big Rick. This dark Big Rick from Arkansas. Big Rick slapped this dude so hard my mama heard the slap from inside the house. And we like, what's going on? What's up? I'm listening to hear Brumley or Junior or somebody say something, right? So we know what's up. And we ready. We pieced up. Ain't no question about that. Ain't no second doubts about that. We pieced up. And so Rick yells, it's Crenshaw Mafia. What? And me and Big Ass Mac immediately took off. We took off chasing him. Big Rick get to running. Big Rick hits the corner, and he's running down my block. And we catching Big Rick, though. Even though he a big dude, I don't know, man. We got a little, and I'm not a fast dude, but, man, we was on him. We was on him. Like Edwin Moses coming from behind in the relay race, man. We catching Rick. But Rick hits the alley. Right before Slauson, he hits the alley, busts a left, and it's this big bush. So we can't really see what's behind the bush. For all we know, Rick turned around, got a strap ready, and he getting ready to bust on him. And boom, we hit that corner, guns wielding in the air. And man, Rick disappeared. I mean, he really disappeared. Like, this ain't no joke. This ain't no script for a movie. Rick disappeared. Because it's like a parking lot, and it's like a little walkway, a little catwalk. It's an apartment building. It's some stairs. It's a couple of doors. I don't know where Rick went. Rick got away. This is Rick's lucky day. So Rick comes to my house. He catches me outside. He got this shotgun, but I got this 9mm. He like, I want to talk to you, nigga. What you want to talk to me about? So we draw down on each other. It's a fact. It's a true story. We draw down on each other. And what you want to talk about? He said, man, I didn't come for that, but you got a shotgun in your hand. So he puts the shotgun down. He said, man, I just want to talk to you, man. He gives me a little resume. He gives me a spiel. He tells me he got a little sack. He wouldn't mind, buying dope from the homies, meeting a few homies. He want me to take him around and all that. Well, I'm cool on all that. You might be FBI, police, sheriff, LAP. I don't know what you are. I'm not messing with you like that. You know what I mean? And so, boom. One day, I hear a little bit of noise, a little bit of arguing down the street again. So I go on down the street. It's Big Rick and Big Rick. And when I see Big Rick that owe me, I'm like, nigga. And I go to my waistband And Big Rick, the dark one from Arkansas, he's like, wait, hold up, man. What's up? What's up, man? This nigga owe you some money? I'm like, hell yeah, yo. How much he owe you? He owe me $80. Rick said, man, leave him alone, man. Rick paid his tab $80. I'm forgetting this fool owe me interest. So I look at him, and he look at me. He look at me like, yeah, fool. And I said, Rick, come here, man. He's like, nah, man, you know, I don't want no problem. Like, he got this fear of me, as big as he is and as tough as he's supposed to be. He got this fear of me now, and I feel it. I'm like, man, empty your pockets. And Big Rick say, nah, man, what? I just paid you. Nah, he owe me some interest, man. How much interest he owe you? He owe me $80. He said, I just gave you. No, he owed me 80 interest. I jacked it up from 40 to 80, and Rick broke me off. So that was it. I never seen Rick again, man. I never got to laugh at Rick, talk to Rick, shake hands with Rick, apologize to Rick, loan Rick no money no more. None of that. So I don't know whatever happened to Rick, man. Rick, if you're watching, your brother or sister watching, man, shout out to you and your whole family, man. Moral to the story, man. Got to pay your debts. And you can't be coming around if you owe somebody. I'm out of here, y'all. Y'all take it easy. I got another story coming up for y'all next. Salute.